why don't you guys just tell us about your book and what's up?
Well, I'd like to start off, if you don't mind, Owen, by thanking Owen for allowing me to be on this journey with him. When we started to work on Oakland with Eddie Muller, who's the czar of noir, I just thought, I need professionals. I need cats who understood what noir was all about and who really understood what it took to create the magic of noir. And so when Berkeley came around, it was just an easy button. Owen and I approached this project from booksellers, I thought, and event people. And we wanted to create something that was going to create a seduction. Noir is seduction in my mind. And I think that inviting people into a hustle, a seduction, a meal, we get to seduce them in a way and then clobber them at the end. We get to, there's no happy endings in noir.
Oh.
So I feel like what we've created here is like, Berkeley is one big delicious seduction. It's a day in Berkeley for us. We get to experience all these different voices and different neighborhoods. That's the genius of Akashic Books, where they take different neighborhoods in a different city. And we took a long time to coordinate or to figure out which neighborhoods we were going to celebrate and dive into. We're adventurers, we're explorers. We want to find the story. We want to find the darkness, the mystery. And so partnering with Owen, I have to thank Owen for allowing me to be partners with him on this wonderful day trip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And how long have you, Owen, been interested in noir?
I started reading noir and detective fiction as a teenager because my dad liked it. So there were stacks of that stuff around the house. So I've been a noir fan since puberty. I just sneaked the sexy ones, but some were out in the open for me to read, and so I've been reading it my whole life.
And you're not too attached to a happy ending, so you're okay with the genre.
No, that's part of the stories kind of break your heart. Like Jerry says, you get seduced, or you're seduced by the femme fatale or the cool detective, and then it becomes a Shakespearean tragedy. And if the story's right, you're not quite sure it's going to go that way. And then in the last reel, in the last paragraph, something somewhat cynical arises, and you get the ending that isn't quite happy.
I see.
It's strange that that's satisfying, but it is very satisfying.
Well, how does it fit to be doing it about Berkeley? I mean, what's unique about that? What's unique about Berkeley that's going to make the stories different than, a noir based on another city?
Well, I wrote my two noirs, but both take place in Berkeley, and Berkeley doesn't really have that reputation. It's a hippie town or a radical town, and it doesn't seem noir, but we work on Telegraph Avenue, and Friday night when you're closing up the store on Telegraph Avenue, it's like a scene out of a noir film.
Multiple films.
Flying down the street, and there's somebody sleeping on the sidewalk. And Berkeley is very noir in its way.
Yeah.
And it has as much corruption and as much crime as any town.
Yeah.
So it's always there.
Is the corruption or the darkness like hidden in this guise of like warmth and ecology? Or, is it hard to get at what it is? People seem friendly and reasonable, but are they really,
If I could come up with a theme that covered all the stories, that would kind of be it.
Oh.
We see the academic intellectual veneer, we see the hippie veneer, and then we get a little deeper as we read these stories.
The underbelly.
Yeah.
The underbelly. It's the ultimate deception. You see this beautiful landscape, which is Berkeley, and we're not Oakland, but we're Berkeley, and you think, oh, you know what you're going to get from Berkeley, but do you really? And that's what we ask in our collection.
That's great. Well, I'm really looking forward to reading it. And when does it come out?
The pub date is on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
We had quite a launch planned, but we're still going to do the launch, of course, at some point. But
Okay. Does this count as part of the launch right here? Are we launching it?
we are launching it for sure.
Okay, good. Well, now
It's
you
our
both
baby.
work at MOE'S. So what is it like to work at MOE'S and to be promoting your own book when we have 200,000 other titles in the store? So what's it like?
Yeah, I'm a veteran at that. I've promoted like 6 books at MOE'S.
Oh.
The audience is there. I mean, it's like your core audience can start with a really good bookstore and hopefully move out. So for me, it's been really helpful. I mean, it is, as a book buyer, it is a little daunting. Like, it seems like everybody in the world has written a book, but you put that out of your mind and you find your own little audience. And MOE'S is a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we discovered I work with Owen on Friday evenings, and one thing we've discovered from working together is that we have experienced many of the same nuances of being wild, crazy booksellers and being these humbled servants of the public in their stories and their secrets and their desires and their dreams through books.
People are very romantic about books and what it means to have written them or to know about them. Yeah, they're very, very romantic.
So working at MOE'S, saying hello to the story, saying hello to the longing for connection, and the pulling open of those drawers of secret crimes or seductions, or everyone's looking for a dream. Everyone's looking for something in their story. So, yeah.
Cool. That's great. Yeah.
We're very happy because we have so many new authors in the collection. We have some established writers in the collection. Lucy Jane Bledsoe, Jim Nesbitt, Shanti Sakaran, Barry Gifford's also in the collection, Aya De Leon. So you get a real mix of diversity in the stories. You don't actually see the, how can I put this? In each story, you get the diversity. So I say, hi, we're African American. Hi, we're gay and lesbian. Hi, we're white. You know, but you get the nuances of all the mix of the diversity in Berkeley in the stories. Each story has its richness of diversity. That's Berkeley too. You don't have to see it, but it's there.
So are you the editor, Jerry? Or did
I'm
you
the co-editor. I'm co-editor of the collection. Yes, absolutely.
And did you write a story too?
I did not write a story for this collection. I didn't include it in the collection, but I have a story. I pulled my piece out of it so that some of the new writers can get in there. We had a lot of submissions for the collection, and I just decided to leave my space for someone else.
That's generous of you. Maybe you'll publish it as a separate book.
I might share it at one of the readings, absolutely, yes.
Oh, good.
Don't give me that look, Owen. Don't give me that look.
I was not so generous. I placed my own story. I accepted it with great enthusiasm.
Best story in the collection.
You put your own story in there?
My own story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I want to say that one thing that's so great about working with Jerry, other than having cocktails with him, is that he is so good at pulling together talent. Like, this guy knows everybody and has a great eye.
You know everybody.
He introduced me to writers that I wasn't aware of, and I think of myself as a noir expert. So some of these people, or I think it might be a couple of them, their first publication, and Jerry introduced me to some really excellent writing. I didn't know Bledsoe. I wasn't with her work, and it's amazing. It's quite good. So yeah, there's a couple, as our coworker Noah said after talking to Jerry, he knows everybody, and he does.
Yeah. So what are the things that people would ask you if we had a question and answer, and you guys were you were downstairs in the event space at MOE'S, and everybody came to talk to you and ask you questions about your book? What are the questions you think people would ask you that I have to ask you on their behalf?
That's good. That's a good question. I think one of the questions that comes to mind is, why how did you just select the people? How did you select the stories that are in this collection?
Mhm.
What were the parameters involved?
Mhm.
And so there's that question.
Yeah.
And it was a tough one. It's a tough to answer, I suppose, at this point, to tell you in a word or two, except to say that it was really about the continuity of the day we wanted to allow the readers to spend with the book.
Mm.
So it had to flow. And I love the idea of of segues. Barry Gifford is big on this in his writing, where you may find a character in one of his stories, and you read one of his books later on, and you think, oh my God, there's that character from another story.
Oh.
There is these continuities. And so I feel there's that element of our ultimate selection of how we decided. And diversity played a big role. Akashic Books, we love Johnny Temple, want to thank Johnny Temple. The fact that giving voice to writers that wouldn't normally have a voice and a place to tell their stories, which is the genius of the noir series. Each neighborhood gets to open up their back windows and front windows and their doors and say, come on in, be careful, but come on in.
How many volumes are there in the noir series from that publisher?
Oh boy.
Over 80, over 80.
It's a lot, yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's
We're
wonderful.
running out of cities, yeah.
So Owen, what do you think people would ask you?
Definitely about the selection. And I think, I hang out with some very hardcore noir fans, and they might ask why we included some that were a little lighter and a little funnier. And I'd like to field that question. I'd like to say that noir is a much wider genre than some of the academics or scholars give it credit for. We've got some things in here that are pretty funny and
That's good.
sexy, but not in a noir way. And that's
Sure.
kind of interesting. So people might ask if it's okay for noir to be political, because this being a Berkeley anthology, we've got a lot of politics in it, and I would love the chance to defend that. That's okay. Noir is about the underbelly, but it's also about people who are not privileged, and it's about class struggle that comes
Interesting.
with noir movies. So I would love to talk about that.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to try to record this conversation and see if we can get some of the audience to hear what's going on with you guys around this book. But I personally am excited that you both work at MOE'S, and that people involved with this book also work at MOE'S, like Kim. And
for sure. Why not? Absolutely.
Kim Nielsen and MOE'S graduate Mara Leatham.
Mara Leatham. Wow.
Yes,
She's a wonderful photographer, and she worked at MOE'S for quite a while, years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago.
And now people will know that she can also really write.
And she can write. She's so smart. Yeah. Okay, so that's great. So I'm excited about all of you guys' stories, and it's going to be good.
It's going to be fun, yes.
Yeah. So
happy.
maybe when we reopen, we'll have an event.
Oh, well, most
definitely. I want a party as soon as people are not afraid to come to the basement.
Well, it's a little sort of surreal there now. I spent a lot of time at the store, and it's kind of just me. So for the first time this is my 30th year at MOE'S, working as part of the staff. And this is the first time where I have that lovely feeling of being able to put something down, and when I come back, it's right where I put it.
You know what?
It's completely weird. It's just bizarre and lovely, so everything's very organized right now. So I can't wait to have everybody come back and make a mess and move my pencil around. So.
We'll mess it out.
Oh, I know you will.
Leave some coffee cups around and some wrappers. And
mess up the alphabet. Don't catalog the thing. I kind of miss you guys. I kind of do.
I mean, Lord Moe's must not look the same without John Wong's dinner spread all over the place.
No, I cleaned it up, but I left his hat right on top. So the hat is right on top of the pile. It's dirty,